What is going on, my fellow movie nerds and geeks alike? I have another haul video for you guys today.
Oh, Jesus, God, no.
I know. But it's always fun to see what people have been picking up, right? I picked up stuff from a lot of different places over this past month, so I'll explain all that, and please stick around to the end of the video. I will give you guys digital codes for some of these movies, so first person to get the movie code, it's all yours, baby.
For free.
And without further ado, let's get into what I've picked up this past month. This first stack of movies is just kind of random stuff I picked up in the wild, things of that nature. First thing I picked up was Marcel the Shell, the special edition from A24. Now this one, if you're unaware, Walmart started carrying A24 special editions. So my wife and I, when we were out shopping in Walmart, saw a couple of these and grabbed some. This was a movie my wife had seen, but I hadn't seen yet. She said it was extremely good, very heartfelt, and after watching it, I have to agree, it is a mockumentary style movie involving this little character named Marcel, who is Marcel, a shell with shoes on. The mockumentary style is really good. It's really sweet. You run the gamut of emotions when you watch this. You're loving, you're depressed, you're happy, you're sad. It's just fantastic, and this special edition from A24 is awesome. You got like a little booklet, this cool case, and it's just great, and I highly recommend checking out Marcel if you get the chance. And in that same vein, we also picked up the director's cut of Midsommar, the Ari Aster film. This one is amazing. It comes in this giant special edition hardbound book. It's got booklet with a ton of artwork from the movie, and it is also the director's cut of the film, which I had never seen before. It's a 4K disc. It adds, I think, like 25 or 30 extra minutes of footage to the movie, and it is fantastic. And I like Midsommar. I think it's my favorite Ari Aster film. I love Hereditary, don't get me wrong, but I really, really love Midsommar. It's kind of like a fever dream of a movie. Like, it really makes me feel uneasy, and God, it is just a good for her kind of movie. Always really liked it. I love the cinematography in it, and it just, every time I watch it, I find something else to love about it. I know it's not for everyone, but it is one of my favorites of the past few years. So yeah, had to grab this director's cut. And lastly in this stack, I picked up the Houses of Doom box set from Cauldron Films. Now this one was kind of marred in controversy because they announced it very, very early this year, and it took almost like 8 months to ship it out. I didn't pre-order it, thankfully. I just waited for it to come in stock before I ordered it. But it is a super cool box set, man. It is 4 films, 2 by Umberto Lenzi and 2 by Lucio Fulci. It is TV horror movies they directed for Italian television, and they have not really seen the light of day, I think, since like DVD. I had never seen them before, so this was like a blind buy for me. It includes Fulci's The House of Clocks, Fulci's The Sweet House of Horrors, and Lenzi's The House of Witchcraft, and Lenzi's The House of Lost Souls. I enjoyed almost every single one of these, but I will say The Sweet House of Horrors by Fulci was one of the worst, most annoying films I've ever seen in my entire life.
Bruh.
So I will say this box set, while it is beautiful and awesome, good job Cauldron Films, God, I will never watch The Sweet House of Horrors again. The worst Fulci film I've ever seen. God, the 2 kids in it are so brutally annoying, and their dubbed voices are just horrendous. I can't believe these were shown on Italian television. They are filled with gore, and some of them even have nudity. Happy to own it. Happy to see films that I otherwise never would have. And this next stack of films I got from Gruv.com. Now, if you're not familiar with Gruv.com, it's essentially like almost like warehouse that stores a lot of Universal and Warner Brothers pictures. It's like the warehouse for all their physical media, but they do some amazing deals. I picked up William Friedkin's Sorcerer, starring Jaws' very own Roy Scheider. There's a score by Tangerine Dream in this. I had never seen this before. What an underrated William Friedkin film, man. This is like a fever dream. It is anxiety inducing. It has one of the like most dreary endings of all time. It is gripping though. It is about like these 4 criminals who are on the run, hiding in like this Spanish country, and they take this job where they got to drive these trucks filled with dynamite that could explode at any minute. It is gripping, dude. Anxiety inducing. I couldn't believe I had never seen it before. It is fantastic, and I was thinking about it for fucking hours after I watched it. Definitely highly recommend checking out Sorcerer by William Friedkin. And this Blu-ray looks great. I couldn't believe how fantastic it looked. I also picked up The Little Rascals, the 90s rendition, of course. I loved this movie when I was a kid. I mean, how could you not love, I'll sell you my pickle for a nickel. How about 2 cents? I just always loved this when I was younger. Me and my wife quoted at each other all the time. I had never owned this on DVD. I only had like a big box VHS of it. So I saw that it was a part of the Gruv sale and I had to scoop it. Little Rascals, man. Timeless comedy classic from my youth. The Little Things. The wife and I watched this one when it went to streaming. We had never seen it before, but it stars Rami Malek, Denzel Washington, and Jared Leto. It involves like these 2 investigators trying to uncover the mystery of like a serial killer. I haven't watched it since then, but I saw it was on this list and I had to get a certain amount of movies to get the deal. So I was happy to add this one to the list. I always love like a detective, like serial killer kind of movie, and I'm excited to revisit it. I do remember liking it, I just can't remember for the life of me what the plot of it is. So yeah, The Little Things. Lost in Translation, the Sofia Coppola classic. This one was announced on 4K earlier this year, so I was holding out hope that it was going to come out, but I saw that it got canceled, so I finally upgraded my DVD to this Blu-ray. It has Scarlett Johansson, Bill Murray, of course, as like these 2 people that cross paths while they're in Japan, I believe, and they just like kind of become great friends. It is just a sweet, sweet story, and I've always really liked the movie. It just kind of leaves me warm and fuzzy inside. Got some great comedic moments, and like, I mean, how could you not love Bill Murray? And yeah, I've just always loved this movie, so I was happy to upgrade it during the sale.
For relaxing times, make it Centauri time.
The Many Saints of Newark, the Sopranos prequel, starring James Gandolfini's son, playing Tony Soprano before The Sopranos, of course. I know a lot of people didn't really care for this when it came out a couple years back. I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. Me and my wife love The Sopranos. My wife fucking loves The Sopranos. I cannot tell you that lightly. She loves it. But we're from New Jersey, so we've always loved this kind of shit. You know, mobsters, New Jersey, and God. But yeah, haven't revisited this since it originally released, so I saw it was a part of the sale and decided to grab it. U.S. Marshals. Now this is like the spiritual successor to The Fugitive. Stars Tommy Lee Jones as the U.S. Marshal again, just like in the Harrison Ford movie, but this one stars Wesley Snipes as the fugitive on the run. I always really liked U.S. Marshals. I saw it in the theater when I was a kid, and I love The Fugitive as well, so I never owned this movie, so it'll be nice to, you know, throw it on as a double feature with The Fugitive. I don't remember much about it. I think we watched it a few years back on streaming or something, and I loved it again.
I don't care!
Orgasmo, starring Trey Parker and Matt Stone of South Park fame. I know there's been a big hubbub about Cannibal the Musical getting that release from Vinegar Syndrome. I never really cared for that movie, unfortunately, but I always really liked Basketball, and I liked Orgasmo, and Orgasmo I only had on DVD, so I saw this was a part of the sale and decided to grab it. It's about like these unsuspecting guys becoming like porn legends. It's just a lot of fun. It's, you know, a goofy comedy. I haven't seen it in years, and I'm excited to revisit it now that I have it on Blu-ray and I could watch it in HD. So Orgasmo, if you like South Park type humor, this is going to be right up your alley. This next stack of films I grabbed from Amazon during their Black Friday sales. There was a lot of stuff I always keep in my save for later cart, so seeing it all like drop drastically in price, I finally decided to pull the trigger, so let's get into them. Still Waiting, the sequel to Waiting. Yes, Waiting has a sequel, and it has like a couple of the stars from the original. I always loved Waiting since, you know, like I've worked in retail and my wife has always worked in the service industry, so we always got great comedic moments watching Waiting. I hadn't seen the sequel in years, but we popped it in the other night, and God, this pales in comparison to the original, but I just wanted to see it, so to see that it was dirt cheap on Amazon, I finally picked it up. But I mean, if you liked Waiting, you know, you'll at least find some enjoyment in this, but just don't expect the greatness of the original. The Ninth Gate, the Roman Polanski film from the 90s, starring Johnny Depp. I always really liked this movie for some reason. It was like a comfort watch for me growing up. It involves Johnny Depp's character being this like shady book salesman kind of guy. He gets hired to go find these books that involve like Satanism of some sort, and he's like trying to find out which one is real because only one of them's real, and he comes across a lot of shady characters. People start getting murdered. It is just like a cool kind of like bizarro movie with Johnny Depp like traversing the world looking at books. That sounds boring, but it's super cool and interesting to me anyway, because I don't know anything about this world. You know, I don't really care for Roman Polanski as a person, but I always really like The Ninth Gate, and the themes in this are very interesting to me, intriguing at least. So yeah, Ninth Gate. Scarface on 4K. I had only had this on DVD, and I've been waiting for a while to pick this up on 4K because we love Brian De Palma here. Scarface is a great like mobster movie, man. I mean, what can be said about Scarface that hasn't already been said? It is like a gangster murder fucking all-timer. There's some moments in this that rival some fucking slasher movies. They're so fucking violent and brutal. But yeah, man, I finally bought this because I think it was like only like $7 on 4K. Couldn't say no during the Black Friday sale. Love Scarface, love Brian De Palma.
All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one.
Cemetery Man from Michel Suave. This is a Severin Films release. I saw Amazon had it for a really, really cheap price. I had only the Anchor Bay DVD of this, and when Severin announced this a bunch of months back, they had like the big box set of it. I didn't really need that because I like this movie. I don't love it, but it's a fun movie nonetheless, and to have it on 4K is awesome. It involves this like guy that works at a cemetery who has to kill the undead who come back to life after they've been buried for like 72 hours or something like that. There's like a love story in this. It also feels very like David Lynch-esque, like you're not sure what's real, what's a dream. It's a very trippy movie and very interesting. I know a lot of people either love this or they hate it. I kind of fell right in the middle upon revisiting it once I got this. But a fun movie, and I'm happy to finally have upgraded that old Anchor Bay DVD. The Dark Knight trilogy on 4K. I had all these movies on Blu-ray, and I had heard great things about the 4K transfers. Given that all these films filmed on IMAX cameras, I heard they looked great on 4K, and this dropped down to like 20-something bucks, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna grab it. And me and the wife revisited all these movies a few weeks back. I actually converted her into like a somewhat of a Batman fan, which is, if you know Vicky, she hates superhero movies. Believe me, I don't like superhero movies either, but I've always had a real soft spot for Batman. But these movies are great, still hold up great, of course, and they look great in 4K, so I was happy they finally dropped in price and I could upgrade them. The Saw 10 film collection. This thing is absurd. It is huge. There's 20 discs in here. It has every Saw movie, including Spiral and Saw X and Jigsaw in here on Blu-ray and DVD. I don't know why they included the DVDs. Like, this set is so big and clunky. I only owned up to, I think, Saw 7, and I wanted to just be able to have all the films. And this dropped down in price during Black Friday to a price I couldn't say no to. This set is big and clunky, but yeah, man, all 10 Saw movies in one box set, couldn't say no. This next stack of films I got from Orbit DVD, which I buy almost most of my movies from these days. They are great. They have a great used section. They get a lot of overseas titles, and you don't have to pay the import tax. They are awesome, and if you buy 3 movies, you get free shipping. Definitely support Orbit DVD any chance you can. The Relic, the 90s creature feature, featuring some of the greatest creature effects ever put to film by Stan Winston. I always have loved this movie, involving like this guy who goes to visit a tribe in a foreign country, and they feed him these leaves, and he becomes this giant beast who sucks out people's brains and eats their brains' hypothalamus. It is awesome. Tom Sizemore, of course, one of his more serious roles. The creature hunting through the Chicago Natural History Museum is just incredible. And the creature effects, like I said, are some of the best I've ever seen. And I've liked this since I was a kid, and upon revisiting it, I still love it. It is awesome, action-packed, and extremely violent. Inside from Second Sight Films. I have had the DVD of this movie for years, and I've been waiting to upgrade it. God, I love Inside. It involves like a woman on Christmas Eve. She lost her husband recently, but she's pregnant, and a home intruder comes by and is trying to cut the baby out of her belly. It is insane. One of the most violent movies I've ever seen in my life, but I love it so much. It's a part of that like French extreme era of horror in like the mid 2000s kind of time period there. But this special edition box set comes with like a booklet, art cards, and the movie on Blu-ray. I love this movie. If you're into those kind of films like High Tension, Martyrs, Frontiers, that kind of thing, you have to see Inside. And hell, it's the holiday season. This is technically a Christmas movie. And I picked up Alien Romulus. Vicky and I love the Alien movies, as you probably know, and we really enjoyed Alien Romulus. It has its problems, but we really enjoyed it, and I saw that they finally got the 4K in, so I grabbed that. And it has that cool, like, almost like embossed slipcover on there, which I was happy was still included. But if you want to know our thoughts on Alien Romulus, go through our channel. We did a live video where we broke this thing down like, God, second by fucking second, man. But upon revisiting it, we've still really enjoyed it, even though it has some problems. Yeah, Alien Romulus. Terrifier 3 on 4K. I saw this one just got recently announced by Orbit, and I had to grab it. It's got that cool lenticular cover on there. We rewatched this last night, and if you want to know our thoughts on it, check out our Letterboxd or check out the video I did reviewing it back when it was released in theaters a couple months ago. I don't love the Terrifier movies, but I appreciate them for what they are. Independent gore fests. Not a lot of story there, but God, are the effects insane. So I appreciate them for what they are. This one's not as good as the other two in my opinion, but I still had a lot of fun with it, and revisiting it had about the same amount of fun as I did in the theater. In a Violent Nature on Blu-ray. This one had like some controversy, man. Like they were releasing it and Amazon went out of stock, and even Orbit sold out super quick, so I wanted to jump on it as soon as I signed up for the back in stock notification on their website. They finally got it, and I was like, yes, please, before this thing just disappears forever. We loved In a Violent Nature. It's one of our favorite horror movies of the year, and I've been waiting forever to grab this, but it's just never been in stock. But they finally got it, so I grabbed it. If you want to know our thoughts, just go back into our channel and watch the review we did on it. We love it. Great first-person experience of a slasher killer, almost like akin to Jason Voorhees. And lastly, I picked up the 4K limited edition of Demolition Man from Arrow Video. This box set is incredible. You got like the poster, you got your art cards, you got like these fun like 3 seashells and graffiti stickers that come with it. But man, I love Demolition Man. It's one of like the schlocky, insane action movies from the 90s, starring Stallone, Wesley Snipes, of course, getting like frozen, and they get reanimated like years later in like 2032, and the world's completely different. I've always loved this movie, and rewatching it last night, God, does the 4K look amazing. One of the fun things about this 4K that Arrow included is on the international cut of the film, all the Taco Bell references were turned Pizza Hut because Taco Bell just really wasn't a thing in Europe. So they included the international cut where everything Taco Bell is turned Pizza Hut, which is just like really fun and quirky. But lots of special features on here. It is just loaded to the brim, as Arrow always does. But yeah, Demolition Man. Love this movie, always will.
You really licked his ass.
Alright, now as promised, here are some of the digital codes that came with some of these movies. I don't know if any of these are going to work, but you know, if you get to them first, feel free. Here is a digital code for The Little Things, so feel free to pause the video if you want to grab Little Things. And here is the digital code for Scarface. And Alien Romulus just came out on 4K. Feel free to grab that if you would like. And this is a big one, I think. This is every movie in the Saw franchise. First dibs. Go and grab it if you want. Don't say I never gave you anything for free. But alright guys, that is everything I grabbed pre-holiday season. Hope you enjoyed this silly haul video. I know they're kind of boring or whatever, but I got some really weird out there kind of titles this month. It's kind of random as hell. I hope you guys all have a wonderful holiday season. Thank you so much for always watching these videos. But we love you all. and we will see you at the next one, you guys. Adios.